We're live. Happy day 4 of the Spooktacular. Happy Friday, everybody. So we are live in 3 places today, not just our normal YouTube coffee chat. We are also live on Facebook in the Coven group and on Facebook on my main page. So welcome everybody. Hello, hello. We also have a little Evie that has just gotten up from her nap who is checking out all the little things that I have over here on the couch. So I would ideally wanted to try to have a spooktacular, like more decorations posted here or put up here like I did over the last couple of weeks. But sadly, it did not fit in the car. So we ended up having to just donate all the decorations, and I didn't go and buy more because that kind of felt like a little bit extra. But we have moved to our 4th Airbnb, and we are in the Disney area of Florida, and we are in a really nice place this time that, somebody asked me, how does it compare to the last place? And it's kind of like, well, I mean, this place is like a few miles from Disney. So in that way, it's amazing, but it also does not have no, you can't have more. You're probably going to have to come get her in a minute. You want to say hi to everybody? No, you want to say hi? You just want candy? Maybe after live stream is over, okay? Okay. I love you.
Okay, I don't have candy.
Okay, you'll have candies. Okay. Here, you can go play with Daddy. You can have candy when Mommy's done, okay? She's so cute. But the last place had this amazing pool and this amazing view. Right now we have basically a view of a parking lot. So, it's all about give and take, a little bit of a little bit of good things here, a little bit of compromise in other places. Alexandra says, I want candy too. Oh, so does Rider on Wheels. I love it. I've kind of tried to set up my computer so that I have the light on me from the window. So this is kind of the best I could do. But then I also have this hat. I had a lot of people ask me, did I get my Not Today Satan hat back? Because we had believed that we left it at the first Airbnb. And it just so turned out that we did not leave it. I had left it out to be able to wear that day. And George had packed it and I didn't know. And he couldn't remember if he packed it. So we thought we left it, but it turns out it was in our luggage. So that is really awesome. Renna, she is growing up so fast, and I think her hair has grown like a full 1.5 inches since we've gotten on the road. It's grown so much. It's really, really fun and crazy. I want candy and that pool. I mean, we have the most amazing pool. And here at this place where we're staying is a little bit of a resort area because there's a pool, like a lazy river and some different things like that, which I think is kind of standard for the Disney area. Like when people have timeshares or they buy condos that they rent out, it's nice to have those like a little bit of resort amenities. But we haven't really had a full chance to use it yet because we got here on, what day did we move? What day is today? Today's Friday. This is like where my brain is right now, is I'm like, I have no idea what day it is, but you guys are keeping me on track because it's Friday. So we moved on Tuesday this week. And I'm trying to see, has anybody been posting from Facebook? Okay, Diane is there on Facebook. So we are definitely live on Facebook as well. But we moved on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we went to the Magic Kingdom, and I bought a few things that I wanted to show you guys because I will be doing during the Spooktacular, we'll be doing a Disney haul kind of giveaway for like $100 worth of stuff from Disney, which is going to be really fun. So I'll show you a little sneak peek of the things that I've bought so far, because I thought it would be really fun to kind of scour the parks for things that I think you guys would like to see from Disney as a giveaway. So one thing, of course, has candy in it because that's why Evie wanted it. And I did open it, but I have two. I bought one that's fresh that's not open. So it's just a little plastic. It says Bone Daddy on the back, Jack Skellington, little jelly pumpkins. And so they're kind of like orange slices, if you know that candy. Hey, Teresa. And they are pretty tasty. Andrew does not like them, but I did get one of these. So this I bought yesterday in Hollywood Studios because I rode the Tower of Terror. Let me know if you have heard of this ride or if you have ridden it. It's basically a Twilight Zone themed ride in Hollywood Studios. And I have never been able to ride it because nobody else will ride like George doesn't enjoy them, like high things that go up really high or like really fast roller coasters and stuff like that. And Andrew does not really want them either. So it's one of those kind of things of like, so you basically go into like an old timey hotel that's called the Tower Hotel or whatever. And it's like a little story that, oh, these people went in and then what is it, Andrew? 5 people step into an elevator. And then they get zapped with this like thing. And then now it's present day and everything else. So it's not a roller coaster, this one, but you kind of, who said they've ridden it? I was checking to see. Oh, Jenna says, I've ridden it. It's so scary. It is so scary because it's like, you go up into the tower like it's like you're on an elevator and then it free falls, but then it catches you and then you go back up and you free fall again. And it happens several times. And a couple of times you go up high enough that it's like a little window and you can see out over the entire park. And you guys, it was the very end of the day. I was by myself in line and I was terrified. It was like, oh my gosh. And doing a thing like that where you're like screaming, but you have a mask on is like even harder because it's like, I can't breathe. Yeah, you only see the light a little. You see like, oh my gosh, it's like completely pitch dark. And then you go up and you see the park for just like a second. And then you just free fall all the way down. Yes, Jean. That is kind of how I felt because it was terrifying. And the lady sitting next to me was laughing. She was like, your first time? And I was like, yes. It was, yeah, it terrified me. I was in shock for an hour, says Ruth. I almost like, I'm so glad that I did it, but then I'm always like, kind of like, oh my gosh, should I do it again? I don't know. It was definitely a free fall and that was terrifying. So afterward, I had to like kind of calm myself down. So I went shopping in their little gift shop and they really had this cool hoodie that said Tower of Terror, but it was like $85. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to get that. Tessa says, how was the Star Wars area? Star Wars area is my favorite part. I really could have stayed there all day and I love it. So George and Andrew went to ride Smuggler's Run, which is where you get on the Millennium Falcon and you get to be a pilot or whatever. And you're like, it's kind of like a virtual reality ride. Andrew and I rode that last time we were at Disney, but this past time, George didn't get to ride it. So I let them go through, but Disney has a thing called like the ride share, where if you have a small child that can't go on one of the rides, you can sign up for like a fast pass or whatever. So one parent gets to go through the ride with the older child, and then the other parent gets to swap. So the child gets to go through twice. So Andrew got to ride it twice, once with mommy and once with daddy, which was really fun. But for some reason, sometimes those virtual reality type rides, like the screens, make me really woozy. And that one had me super, super woozy for some reason. And then I went from there to ride the Tower of Terror. Like, this was a mistake. This was a big mistake. But just out of curiosity, do any of you watch, I don't know if any of you watch just Disney videos, but there's a YouTube channel here on Disney called All Ears TV or All Ears Network. And they have a blog, but they also have a YouTube channel, like 200,000 subscribers. And one of their main people that does the vlogging is called Molly. And I love watching her videos. She's like always going through the parks, talking about what her favorite snacks are, or what her favorite foods or, things like that. And I always am watching her videos. And yesterday or Wednesday at the Magic Kingdom, George was like, hey, while you were going to ride Haunted Mansion with Andrew, I saw Molly. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did not see her at all. Right. I was like, oh my gosh. And then we were at Hollywood Studios yesterday. And as I was coming off the Tower of Terror, oh yay, there's somebody else that knows Molly. Good job. I thought somebody here has to know her. As we were coming off the Tower of Terror, George was like, hey, Molly's standing there in the middle of the road if you want to go say hi to her. So I did. I got a chance to meet her and say hello, which was kind of cool. So it's like a little bit of a celebrity sighting. YouTube celebrity sighting. So another thing that I got we are going to talk about Notion today too. But another thing I got for the giveaway is these little sugar-free lollipops, little Disney lollipops. I also got, these are for me. These are not for the giveaway, but I'll take my hat off even though, well, my hair doesn't look too bad. I got these amazing ears that are from the Haunted Mansion from Memento Mori. How cute are these? I just love them. So it has the like wallpaper design, and then it's got the lady, Madam, now I can't remember her name. And then it says Foolish Mortal on the back. And then I also got these ears. So I got two pairs of ears. These are for the 50th anniversary. And they light up, but I don't know if it'll show on. Oh yeah, you can see. Look how cute these are. I just love them. So these will be the ears that I wear while we're here, and then I probably have to send them to my best friend Kelly so that we're not trying. See, I was like, is it Madame Leota or is it Madame Leora? For some reason, I was like, which one is it? You guys know when I'm on the lives, it's like I cannot remember anything. So anyway, those are some cute little ears that I got for. The other thing that I got at the, I guess the Tower of Terror gift shop is they had these amazing Wonderground Gallery is what they're called. And this is Jasmine Beckett Griffith, her art. And I actually have some of her like little, what do you call them? Like little, this is what I'm talking about. If you guys have not been to one of my lives lately, you will know for sure. I have like one of these I have the problem of like word retrieval. Sometimes when I'm live, I'm like, it's like one of those little, little doodad things. Now I can't remember. But anyway, this is really cool. So this is the Madame Leota, and this is like reimagined with her style of art, right? Jasmine's art. I just love them. And so they also had Cruella de Vil, and they had Ariel from The Little Mermaid. So I'm going to be kind of looking around because figurines. Thank you, Jessica. I knew somebody would know, right? I think she does have tarot cards, and somebody linked them to me, and I was like, it might be that her tarot cards though are not a full deck. I can't remember. If somebody knows, let me know. But I think maybe her tarot cards are just the major arcana. So they're not a full deck, but it's just the major, like for artwork. But these are so cool. So I'm going to be I'm going to be buying as many, like any of these that I find, because some of them I found, like they had, this one was at Memento Mori and this one was at Tower of Terror. So they don't have all the same ones. Oh, it is a full deck. Okay. So there was something else I was thinking of that didn't have a full deck, but that one does. So very cool. So I'm going to be grabbing as many of these as I find because they're so pretty. And then I'll be putting a few of them in the giveaway. And then also, same as her art, how cool. I am obsessed with this. Like, this is a notebook, you guys. You know how much I am so obsessed with this. So this is, of course, Sally and Jack. And in the back, it says The Nightmare Before Christmas. And then on the inside, it's just plain pages, but it feels like a Moleskine notebook, but it doesn't say here what it is, but it feels like that kind of smooth paper. And it is white, more white than it is ivory. And I just love it. Like, I'm so obsessed with it. Oh, I do hope they have Belle. You know what? I'm going to look around and I'm going to look in every gift shop that I can and see if I can find more of her stuff. But I thought this one was so cool. And of course, this is more of her artwork just on a notebook. So I bought two. You can only buy two of each item. So I got two so I could have one and so I could give one away. Alexandra says I have no words, but if you could see me, you would see I have hearts in my eyes. Yes. I mean, this I love. So I had to get one to give away to you guys too. So that giveaway will be coming up, I think maybe next weekend. I can't remember. And then I also have kind of started for the first time a pin collection. So let me know if you've ever done pin trading or anything like that at Disney. So I have never done it, but I've always wanted to do it because I really like pins. And so I thought this time I'm going to pick up my first few and I'm just going to put them on my Delphonics pouch. So I'll show you the ones I got real quick. So Disney, a little Tinkerbell with some pixie dust. I got the I Am Your Ghost Host one from Memento Mori. I got the Tower Hotel one from Hollywood Studios. And then I also got one for the 50th anniversary, and they're all kind of different prices. They have, like, they say yellow or silver. I think and then pink. So they were like between maybe $9 and $12 just for a pen. So I know it's very expensive, but it's Disney, so I'll probably will pick up a couple of pens also to throw in the giveaway. So those are just some of the things that I've picked up so far. We've only done 2 days and we still have 6 days to go, which is like, oh my gosh. I mean, I know we usually only get to go for like 4 days. So we're going to just make the most of it and enjoy it. Andrew and I already have blisters on our feet. So as soon as we're done with this, we're going to go and pick up some stuff to help with the blisters on our feet. It was so funny because the night before last, Andrew and I were both inside the bathroom together with our feet in Epsom salt, like a bunch of old people. It was really kind of funny. I love my Disney pins so much. I don't think I could ever trade them. George was like, hey, you're not supposed to be buying the ones you want to keep. You're supposed to buy them and then trade them. I'm like, well, I will start with ones that I want to keep because I love them. I see a lot of people say they love Tinkerbell. So maybe I'll put this one in the giveaway, the Tinkerbell one. So yes, I love it. If you need to rest, can recommend the Muppet Haunted Mansion movie on Disney Plus. Oh, so fun. I have not seen that. And we do have Disney Plus, so that is going to be really fun. Today, the other thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to, today, we're going to go through my Notion journal. So I do have this pulled up for you guys. So this is going to be a really fun sort of look inside, but I will. So before we start that though, I am going to go over a couple of questions that were in the Discord server. I think there might have been 1 or 2 in the Facebook group as well. Oh, here's a fun fact. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't want to talk about anything negative, and I did not let it throw me. But if you can see what is going on with my phone, all of this is cracks and smashes, like all of it. My entire phone is smashed to bits. And yesterday when we went to, I don't ever put a case on my phone, which I know is my own stupidity anyway. But if I put a case on it, then I can't necessarily fit it in my selfie holder or anything else. And so I just never use a case, but I also almost never drop my phone. But yesterday I had it in the front pouch of my bag, my backpack, and they had to check it before I went into the Hollywood studios. And the security guard, I guess, opened the front pouch and then just opened the whole backpack and flung it open, and my phone went flying onto the pavement, and it is now smashed into a million pieces. And he did not even say I'm sorry. He just went on checking and was like, okay, have a nice day. And I'm like, my phone is smashed to pieces. So we're just going to let that go. No, I don't have any kind of screen protector or anything. I just don't ever put a case or anything on it because I always end up just taking it off, and so they are not compensating me for it. So luckily I have insurance, but it was just kind of like, okay, well, we're just going to keep moving on. That was kind of a sad thing that happened yesterday, but it's all good. Yes, I do have Hello Kitty on there. I have it's like a little mummy Hello Kitty. But at least it's still functioning, so that's good. But the thing is, I do have insurance on the phone, but it's like, where are they going to send it to? They can't send it here. So I'll work it out. It'll all be good. But that was kind of the only bad thing that has happened. And I didn't think about it, but I didn't want to like cause a fuss, but I probably should have been like, but anyway, we're going to let it go. We're going to just chalk it up to bad luck or something. But at least I do have the insurance. So at least that's good. It'll still cost me something to trade it out, but at least I'll get it fixed at some point. But I want to talk about, train of thought. And I got some good Disney photos yesterday that I'll have to show you guys once I pay for them. So let's see. Facebook. Let me check on the Coven. I'm going to be live in there, so hopefully I don't start messing up my own live stream by being, there I am. There's my face. I hope you guys have been enjoying some of the posts and everything. There were some issues with the scavenger hunt with our counting, but don't worry about it. I will count all the answers as being good answers. So we do have some questions. So Kate asked, what tropes make you cringe and what makes you really dislike characters you are writing or reading? And then Victoria said, what exactly is a trope? So I don't know exactly what the definition of trope is, but my understanding of trope is just something that has been done over and over again to the point where it becomes something that is kind of like you see it happening so often that it becomes like a standard of the genre. So for example, a trope might be friends to lovers, or enemies to lovers in a romance. So it would be like you see it happen so often that it's like they're enemies, so they're never going to love each other, but then now they're actually secretly attracted to each other. Or another trope might be like a secret engagement. You see that in a lot of Harlequin novels, that they are pretending to be engaged or they're pretending to date each other, and then they actually fall in love. So it's kind of like a cliche, like you could use it in that way, but I feel like cliche has kind of a negative connotation to it. Like if something is cliche, then it's bad. But if it's a trope, it actually usually means it's something that's really well loved by some people. And there are some people that do not like tropes at all. They're like, tropey things just are kind of, hard, or I don't enjoy them or whatever. But some people specifically read to tropes and they were like, if it's got a triple, like triple homicide that is not what I meant to say. But cliches are tropes, but not all tropes are cliches. Hannah throwing out some interesting thoughts there for sure. Triple, what am I trying to say? I love triangle, not a triple homicide. So common storylines in formula fiction or something like that. So it's, there's only one bed. That's a good one, Tessa. So when you end up, and it could be a trope that the whole entire show is based off of, or it could be like one episode of a TV show. It could be that the entire series is based off of this trope or whatever. So even with Harper, like a love triangle could lead to triple homicide. That is true, especially in what you write, Sarah. Like even Harper, like coming into a haunted house kind of feel to it could be something like that. Or Harper discovering that she secretly has magical powers. Those are kind of like tropes, like discovering a new world. So there are lots of things. So JC says, Merriam-Webster says a trope is a word phrase or image used in a new and different way in order to create an artistic effect. I feel like it's got a different meaning when it comes to fiction, because that does not sound quite exactly right. But yes, I think that they're recurring storylines. They're things that you see so often. Now, in terms of what tropes make you cringe or what makes you really dislike characters you're writing, I'm kind of an easy to please person. I tend to just try to be positive and to like things as much as possible. So there's very few things that I cringe at, except when I am not a fan of bully romance. And I know that bully romance is kind of having its day, and a lot of people really like that. Maybe it's because of some things that I've been through in the past. But for me, in terms of being a reader, I don't judge anyone else who reads or enjoys any kind of fiction, because I say, like, no judgment here, truly love whatever you love. But for me, bully romance is not my favorite thing. So I tend to like just not want to read it. So if I see a hero being really mean to a heroine, I don't like it. And even my own book, The Moment We Began, the only reason, because there were lots of parts where I was like, I don't want him to seem too harsh when it comes to Penny. And I really should have written his point of view into it, because that was the one book that I feel like I didn't fully stay true to my own values, I guess, in the beginning of that. So what's a bully romance? Bully romance is when the hero is a bully to the heroine. He's bullying her. He's mean to her, basically. And then, of course, a part of that trope is that he is in love with her and he grovels. So a lot of people just really like that part when he turns around and really falls in love with her and has to apologize for everything that he's done. But it's not my thing. But some people really love it. And for a lot of people, it's the kind of thing where it's like, I wouldn't want it in real life, but in the fantasy of other people, it is something that people enjoy. So that probably for me is like one that I tend to stay away from. Now, so Holly Black's Cool Prince could be a bully romance. And I would say that is one that I actually am looking forward to reading. I have not read her book, Cruel Prince. I've read a lot of her other books, but I actually am interested in reading that one. But I don't know if it's full bully romance or not. So somebody has to let me know. But I bought all 3 of those in hardcover because they really do appeal to me. So I think it kind of depends on where's the line of it. And maybe it's because it's young adult instead. Renee says the moment we began is basically the story of me in high school, just how much Penny loves Mason and it's unrequited. And I didn't find him mean. Yeah. So I didn't feel like Mason is mean necessarily, but for me, that was kind of as far along that line as I was willing to go, I guess I could say. What makes you really dislike characters you're writing or reading? I think sometimes when I see a character who has already overcome something and then we see them come back to it over and over again, it's like, but you stopped being this way. Now, why are you doing that? Or when it's like the only conflict between 2 characters is always the same conflict for books and books and books. Sometimes that can get old, but I hate to like criticize because I'm like, there's probably times when I've done things that make people cringe as a writer too. So I don't particularly want to get too negative with it, but in terms of characters, when I'm reading it, it's like sometimes I feel like when there's character growth and then the next book you read, they're right back to where they were before, then I'm kind of like, oh, I thought we were past this, like the same complaints all the time. Or when characters are not acting to their best of their abilities, like you should know better. And that's one of the big things that I come across with Harper as I'm writing her, because we're 12 books in at this point. And I feel like that is one of the hard things of writing that character for 12 books is I don't want her to regress. Like she needs to be getting stronger. She needs to be learning. Plus she, at this point, has been betrayed. Without giving spoilers, at this point, she's like been betrayed so many times. Like, why would she dare trust anyone? And so part of her journey is learning that the only person she can really trust is herself. And so that's what she has to work toward, is the self-trust. And that, if you've really been paying attention to the last few books, that is really her biggest journey. And so as a writer, that's what I'm always striving for, is for my characters to grow and continue to grow. If they don't grow with the series, it gets frustrating. And sometimes I think even as a reader, you kind of don't want them to grow because you loved them, but you got to see the growth. It just has to be there, right? Okay, so a couple more in Discord, and then we're going to move to Notion. And I'm going to explain what Notion is, because I'm sure there's some of you that are like, I don't even know what that is. Okay, so Friday coffee chat questions. There are a few here. So Allie had said, are there any writer or indie publishing podcasts that you recommend? So if anybody here has indie writer or writer podcast that they listen to, definitely let me know. So there is one called, I think it's called the 6-Figure Authors Podcast. Is that the name of it? I think. That one is one that I've seen shared a lot and I do listen to on occasion. I also love Kobo Writing Life's podcast. And then there also is a podcast, Joanna Penn does a podcast that is called The Creative Pen. It's probably the one I've listened to the most consistently for years and years. Also, Becca Syme has a podcast called The Quit Cast that I am getting more and more into after actually meeting her. The Kate and Abby Show, I have not listened to that one, but I know that Abby Emmons is a good YouTuber here that talks a lot about writing. The Working Writer is a new one that I've enjoyed. So Writing Excuses is also great. Like I personally just absolutely love the people that are involved in Writing Excuses podcast. So one of them is a writer of a comic that that George has read for years and years and years, a web comic. And then combine that with Brandon Sanderson, who is just epic and I love. And then V.E. Schwab is also on that in later seasons. There are just some amazing people that have been on that podcast. I'm trying to think of the name of Grant Faulkner from from NaNoWriMo. What is the name of his podcast? Now I cannot remember exactly what it is, but I've been on it and now I can't remember, but we can make a post in the Coven where we can actually, what webcomic? George is gone. Okay. Let me think what it's called. Cause it's, I'm going to have to ask him. I'm going to send him a text because he's not out here. It's not one that I've read before, but it's one that's been going for years and years and years. What webcomic that the guy on podcast did? He's going to be like, what are you talking about? If anybody knows, let me know. So Deadline City is not one that I've heard of. So Right Minded, thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Right Minded podcast. I really enjoy that one. KM Weiland has a podcast. If you are a writer and you are not familiar with KM Weiland, she is just truly brilliant. And I just love her work, like all of her books and stuff. Schlock Mercenary. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, it's in my head, but I cannot remember. George has read that podcast for, more than a decade, I think. And it comes out literally that podcast, that webcomic, it comes out, I think, almost every day. I'm not sure if he's still doing it now. But I know it's one of those things that's been in rotation. He's probably going to come out and be like, what did you just text me? So there are lots of really great podcasts there. Hopefully that'll give you a good one. I listen to a lot of Schlock Mercenary. I just couldn't remember the name of it. Somebody else pulled you, right? The Writer's Files. Kate and Abby's show. So there's a lot of really good ones. If you guys want, we can start a list and I can put them on the blog for ones that you could listen to. There are a lot of podcasts that I listen to that are more like business and self-development ones, more so than I listen to writer ones, because I feel like sometimes other people's advice doesn't always align with what I've found to be true. And so sometimes I don't listen to all those like marketing strategies things because they make me feel like I am not working hard enough or, things like that. So sometimes I just can't listen to them, like the ones that are just all about marketing, because I'm like, okay, I'm staying in my own lane. I just can't listen to those, but I do love some of those. I have listened to a lot. Karina Pullman says, hey, Sarah, this will be my first nano, and I'm already wondering how not to get panicked if I ever fall behind. The pressure is on, and I understand that is part of what makes this project a challenge, yet I would like to avoid freaking out. Oh my gosh, why did Siri just get activated on this laptop? How do you turn Siri off?
I didn't get that. Could you?
Somehow Siri got on there. I would like to avoid freaking out and stay calm. And then later she said, I just watched your creativity toolbox video. Think I got my answer. So yeah, when it comes to your not freaking out during NaNoWriMo, definitely I would recommend doing things that feel good to you, like self-care and different things like that. Y'all, this is just the crazy things, right? So I don't even know how to do Siri on this thing, but whatever. Maybe I clicked something or it responded to something I said. But when you get behind, that's when you're right. That's when you start to panic, because it's 50,000 words in 30 days. And if you start to see that you're like 2,000, 3,000 words behind, you're going to start to get to a point where there's no way you can catch up unless you have like your best day of all time. So really what I recommend before you get to the point of freaking out is try to get ahead early. So if you normally are trying to write 1,500 words a day, try to, oh yes, Ray, that is exactly what it was. And I'm not going to say it again, but I bet that's what it is. So if you are planning on 1,500 words a day, try to get 2,000 or 3,000 within the first couple of days. That way you are ahead. So if you have a few bad days, and the other thing is just along the way, if you start to feel like, I just don't know that I want to do this, just sit down and do it anyway. Whatever you have to do to motivate yourself, like pull things from that creativity toolbox. If you guys didn't see it, definitely go and check out the creativity toolbox video that I did yesterday on my Heart Breathings channel, because I think that it can be helpful tips, I hope. Renee is also sending me messages. I'm like, what would I thought Renee was going to message me and be like, by the way, something bad is happening. Okay. Nikki said, how has your planning style or system evolved with time? And no pressure, but any idea on when we're getting your Q4 reset video? Those videos give me so much inspiration and energy. Love your planner, by the way. It's been so helpful for me this year. So my planning system has evolved quite a bit over the years. And that is a perfect question to segue into Notion, because I know some of you are here just to see the Notion thing. And hopefully for people on the replay, I can kind of give you guys a link to the time of when we start this. So I'm going to transition to this because I feel like that's the thing when you're a planner. Like some people are definitely really good at like keeping the same planning system for years and years and years and making it work for them. And for me, the HB90 system that I do, which is like a Kanban board and a bunch of other things, like planning goals the way that I have been planning them for the last few years, are really, really nice. But I really feel like if you want to continue on with your planning over the course of years, then what you want to do is you want to allow your system and your planning style to evolve over time. Because if you stay stagnant, sometimes you're not really meeting your own needs. You're just like, I am absolutely just going to do the same thing over and over and over again. And I think that we sometimes are like, but I want to use this planner. This is the one I want to use. And I feel like sometimes we have to just step aside and say, okay, but what do I need right now? How can I evolve this so it's going to be the right thing for me? And right now, I think I need to really be moving into more digital tools, not only because I need to be collaborating. So I do have some news on that. On that front is I will actually be hiring my first employee, my first full-time employee, which is a big moment for me in my business and in my life. And I'm pretty excited about that and nervous at the same time. I am not going to probably post it too much to my entire community, but if you are watching this and you're part of the community and you're like, okay, I really, really feel that I would be a good person for this job, then just let me know and send me an email, because I know several people have reached out before saying, I really want to help as being your assistant. But this is like, I'm going to hire someone that is more than just an assistant, but truly can help me with all my email marketing and all the back end stuff of my courses and other things like that. So this is definitely a big step in my life. But in order to hire an employee, I have to be more collaborative. And it's like, I can't necessarily share my paper planner. Hi, Angela. I can't necessarily share my paper planner. So I am trying to be a bit more digital in some of my planning things. Thank you guys so much for the kind words. I am very, very excited. And this is going to be, it's going to be huge because I'm going to be hiring I'm hiring actually 3 people. So I'm hiring a bookkeeper, I'm hiring a full-time employee, and I'm going to be hiring someone to help with my social media. So there's going to be 3 people. And I just feel like at this point in my business, it's like I've been doing too much on my own and it's causing me too much anxiety. So the excitement that is like truly being at this point where I can not only bring in help, but also that I'm going to get help, it's pretty huge. But if you guys want to know, this is my Notion journal. So Notion is, gosh, how do you explain what Notion is? Notion is an online, basically sandbox, right? It starts out almost as nothing but a blank page, but it is full of building blocks. So you can press pretty much anywhere on this Notion page. You get to the bottom of the page or whatever, and you can press this little plus sign over here to the side, and you've got all of these blocks that you can use. So you can add a divider, you can add images, you can add databases. Andrew. You guys can't see it, but the look on Andrew's face when he noticed that pew pew sound on his Roblox was so loud, he was like, uh-oh, I know I just got busted. Maybe turn it down just a little bit more. Thank you, buddy. But you can do so much with Notion. You can literally build out databases. You can put GIFs, you can put images and make it look really pretty. There's so much that you can do. And truthfully, you can get completely lost in trying to set up Notion because it's pretty much anything goes. And so it's like you can pretty much do so much, but the fact that you can do so much makes it very overwhelming. And I did a video on my Heart Breathings channel about Notion. And so many people were like, I just lost 2 weeks to trying to figure out how to set this up. So if you want to check it out, go check it out. Watch some videos on Notion. A couple people asking, is Notion free? It is free. So the basic of Notion, they have a free a whole free thing. Where you get limited is your collaboration with other people. So if you're just using it for yourself, you're going to be able to do it totally for free. The reason that I pay for it, and I think it's maybe like a couple $100 a year, so it's not like ridiculously expensive, but it is an investment, is because I want to be able to use it with my assistant, right? So if you can see kind of on, I don't know that I can make this specifically any bigger, but hopefully you can see it a little bit. So here I have workspace, and this stuff is all shared with my assistant. So this has all of my stuff like tasks and projects. Janet, my previous assistant, built out most of this stuff. So it's like task, like giveaway winners. When I was sending out the mystery boxes, my Sarah Cannon section has all of my passwords and everything else in it. My courses have all my affiliate sales and everything else. Plus there's processes in here about how we do videos. We keep track of all my videos. Everything's in here. Then down here, I've got a private workspace. So if you pay for it, you can go and collaborate with other people, right? Randa says, I loved it, but it made me feel overwhelmed. I think a lot of people felt that way. But I think if you go into it with, I'll tell you what I do that makes it a little bit more, I feel like, now this is just chicken scratch kind of, but I think this does help, is I'll go in and I'll say, what do I want it to look like? And I'll kind of sketch it out on a piece of paper, thinking what's the functionality that I need. And that helps me to figure out how I want to set it all up. So I just thought today it would be kind of fun for the Spooktacular to go ahead and show you an inside glimpse of my writing journal and my tarot journal. So we're going to start with the tarot journal. And I will caveat this just for a moment with saying that this is not my design at all. This is not me. This is a template that I purchased for someone else. And her message or her Twitter is over here. And I don't know if you can see it. It's not going to be big enough. So I'm going to try to post it here in a comment. So her, if somebody could repost that. Oh no, it did post on Facebook too. So her, Twitter is just like twitter.com, and then it's Saro. So TSAAROT. And I should have put it in the description box, but I forgot. So I will put this on my blog tomorrow so everybody has a link to it. And she was just, it's not something she officially sells, but it's something that somebody was telling me she was working on. And I was like, oh, I would love to get that. And she was like, here's a link to the template. Just send me whatever you want. And I think I sent her, 20 or $30 for it. But she didn't ask me for anything specific. That is a very good question, Rana, and I'm going to get to that in just a second because I think it is important. But I will also caveat by saying it's beautiful, but I have not actually used it, but I want to be using it more. So I figure I'll show you guys kind of just an overview of what it looks like, maybe give you some ideas, and then we will hopefully in the next year when I'm actually using it more, you guys can actually like get in and play with it. But if you want this, I think you can still DM her on Twitter, and I will give you guys that link. So she set this whole thing up. So there's a daily affirmation that just has a little quote here, and that changes obviously every day. Then she has this little widget here where you can choose a card of the day, and you click the card of the day. And mine is the Wheel of Fortune. And it says this card is about karma. And so it just tells you a little bit about the card. These are just gifts. So they don't really do anything. They're just pretty images that make it look nice. And then she has this set up here in the middle to be a journal entry, basically, like if you wanted to have a diary entry. So you go to this page, and when you click on that little box, it opens up another page. And that is the thing about Notion that makes it really powerful, but also really overwhelming, because it's kind of like those nesting dolls. It's like pages inside of databases, inside of more pages. So it kind of like all nests into each other. But she just put this little GIF on there. So when you put that GIF there, it shows up as like a preview on this little, what they call cards. And then you could type in your own journal entry. And this is not an actual journal entry. It's just a sample journal entry. And so this is the same thing. It's just an image, but you could go in here. So instead of using your paper planner, you could go in and type in what your daily journal entry is, and you could choose a pretty picture, or you could reuse the pictures if you wanted to. Then down here, she has a reading and practice log. And here she was saying, like, these are just samples of what she had done, but this would be like an example of a practice reading that you might have done for someone else. So over here, you post a picture of your spread, and then the name of the person, your querent would be the person asking the question. You could talk about which deck you used. You could talk about the content of their question or who they are. And then underneath say, you know, what opportunities are open for me right now. Now she put this together because she actually does tarot, journaling, like tarot reading for people. That's one of her services she offers for people. So this would be a way for her to keep track of the readings that she's done for other people. But you could absolutely go through and change this to be a reading that you did for yourself. Now, I do readings for myself every full moon, every new moon, on my birthday, on New Year's, and things like that. So I feel like that kind of could be something that I would like to use, but I do actually do it in my paper planner. So I don't know if I would use that necessarily, but what you could do that's cool in Notion is this little section here. You could choose which cards are involved, and then you could go in and you could filter this whole reading based on every time you got the Lover's card. And then you could take a look at all those readings that you did over the course of the year where you got that specific card. And that's where digital really, you can't compare paper to digital because you can't sort your paper stuff in an instant by choosing a filter. And so that's kind of one of the things I'm thinking, like, how cool could this be for me? Then she also has a tarot learning section here. And obviously you've got all the different pentacles, cups, swords, and wands, and then you've got the major arcana, but she didn't actually like fill all these out. These are just kind of like samples, and then you would have to build it yourself. But there are tags like this is a major arcana. She gives it a color tag, and then says like, what are the keywords like harmony, ethics, love, romance. That's kind of what this card means. And then you could also put in reversed meanings, and then there's a little template here that you can reuse for other cards. So this little GIF is from the OK Tarot, and it's just something that you can download on Google. And then the Lovers tells you kind of what it means, some of the keywords and themes, your personal interpretation. She put yada, yada, put your text here, because it's kind of like, what does this card mean to you personally? And so throughout, she put all these little tips. But like I said, I haven't actually used this. It's more of just something I downloaded and have played around with a little bit. And then I was practicing kind of setting it up with the full. And so you can see it's a template here that you can fill out with whatever you want it to be. Then the final thing that she has in this particular one is a tarot resources list. So this is a gallery view. And one of the cool things about Notion is that you can change your view. So this is a board view. Like you can see them like these are the books, these are the YouTube videos, these are the articles, or you could do a gallery view where it's going to show you the pictures. So you can kind of change it however you want it to be. But this would be a place that you could go in and make a wish list of the resources, the articles, kind of like a Pinterest board on your Notion of the things that you really wanted to, like, here's the decks I really want to buy. Like I could go in and put that Jasmine Beckett Griffiths one in there, or I could have a couple of books that I wanted to read, like witchy books on Wicca or whatever. Or I could link YouTube videos here that talk about this deck, and you can embed that YouTube video right here in Notion. So there's a lot of really cool things. And so that's just kind of an inside look, because I know some of you had wanted to see what is actually inside this tarot journal. But like I said, I haven't actually used it. So, you know, it's one of those things. And I definitely see some people in the comments are like, oh my gosh, this is definitely not something that I would be able to use because it's too complicated or whatever. That's why I feel like for me, it has been something that I've just sort of played with a little bit as we go. And Janet really got into setting up Notion. She was really, really good at it, and she sort of ran the whole thing. And so as she was doing that, I would kind of play around with my own personal one that nobody else can see, except that I'm showing it with you guys. But this is the thing that I've really, really had fun setting up, which is my writing journal. And like I said, I've set this up and I have used it maybe for about a month, and then I sort of fell off of it. But I want to start using it more now that I'm on the road. So I'll just briefly kind of walk you guys through what it looks like. So here at the top, I have these, basically these are all my series that are in progress, and I put the book covers on there, and these are just like little images that you can set as a card. And inside like the Shadow Demon Saga, and it pops open as this little page, but you can also click open as a page and it'll open as a bigger page. And you can put in here like how many books are going to be in the series. Is it completed yet? No, it is not. And then I put this little image there. And then you can see here, it's like, here's the published books. So if I want to, I can click on Beautiful Demons and that opens a new page that has like the synopsis in here and what I use when so here you can see it's a Google Doc that I use, or that Janet was using when she would apply for promotions and advertising for it. So you can put that kind of stuff. So I can have a page for every book that's finished. And then over here, like Vengeful Darkness, you can see I have a little tarot or a little Kanban board set up here that I didn't use. So I had every intention to set it up, but then it just never, Jean says I would set it up and then never use it. Which is kind of what I did. I did use it for a little while. So I've got this little Kanban board where you can say what's not started yet, what's in progress, and what's completed. And you can take these little pages and you can move them and just drag them over and say that it's now completed. And I really like this because this is obviously my workflow is always in the Kanban, but I usually go top to bottom. So this is a little bit more like you have to go left to right. But it's like once I got done plotting Act 1, I could move it over to the completed section and I know it's done. So it could be a way to kind of track your progress. And then underneath that this is what I did use it for, was my word count tracker. And so what I was doing here is I would put one little purple bubble for every writing sprint that I did. Or no, it wasn't every writing sprint. It was for every word, like 500 words. So if I have 4 of those little purple bubbles, that means I got at least 2,000 words written that day. And then I also marked the date, how many minutes I spent, which project I was working on. I tagged it with the date, which becomes important in a minute. And then there you can see the number of words, which is 2,065. So this is kind of the coolest part of the writing journal because you can see this progress of how long it took me to write the book or how much I got done every day. Like you can see this day, April 24th was a big day. I got over 9,000 words that day. But you can also, if you wanted to, you could click add a view and you could change this to a calendar view. And when you do that, now it's going to show you those same things back on the calendar. But this was earlier this year. So when I go and look at the calendar, then I can look at it in a calendar view and see how much I got done each day. And for me, I really like this in terms of a digital way of tracking my writing because I would be able to see how many days I wrote, how much I got done just at a glance. And I really do like that. So I'll show you the other kind of view for my writing journal because the cool thing about Notion is I can have it on that page for Vengeful Darkness, but I can also have it on a page that's tagged as April, for example. So this is April 2021, and I could put my goal. Here's what I wanted to do. And then I've got this little banner here. And then I've got that same exact database that you saw before is also marked here. So that's kind of one of the cool things, I think. So down here on the writing journal, I have the months. I've already got November kind of set up because I know I'm going to use it. And I didn't put the name of the book because the title has not been revealed as of yet. Excuse me. So it's just going to say book 12 anytime you see it there. And you can see I've got my series are color coded. So anytime I'm working on the Shadow Demon Saga, it's going to be purple. Anytime I'm working on the Witch's Key, for example, it's going to be teal. So I've got them color coded by series. The other thing I've been playing around with, let me open this as a page just to show you an example, is this book sprint tracker, where I, for the first time in Notion, have used formulas. So I know, and this is where I kind of use math. I know that my average word count per sprint, if I'm doing like a 20 to 25 minute sprint, is 650 words. And so I can take math, my smashed up phone, and I can say, okay, let's say that this book is going to be, it's probably going to be longer than this, but let's say it's going to be 115,000 words. If I divide that by 650 words, then I can guesstimate that I'm going to need about 177 to 180 sprints to finish this book. So this is just for the rough draft. So I was thinking I could use this word count tracker here to put in the number of sprints, and I only put in 40, but I could take the time to go in and add 180 in here. And then I can track all of my sprints here. Now I do this on a paper planner, but I think it would be so much cooler to have it in an actual digital format, because then I would be able to look back on it later. And I would be able to sort this according to my sprint time or how many times I got this many words or whatever. But you can see how this is figured out is it says, here's my current sprint. This is just an example, because obviously this is the future 11/01/21. But let's say I got 898 in this particular one. What I would do, let me see if I can do it a little better down here. So let's say it was my third sprint of the day. My starting word count is going to be the same as what my ending word count was before. So I just move that word count down and say 2389. When the sprint is over, I just go to my word count and I say, okay, how many do I have now? And so let's say my document says I have 3156. It's going to auto calculate how many words I wrote during that sprint right there. So I put in a formula that basically just subtracts my starting word count from my end word count. Then it also over here tells me if I'm guesstimating that I'm going to need 100. Well, I think I have it at, let's see, that is calculating the wrong way. I think I messed up my formula. 118 minus prop end. Well, it should be that. No, it's 111. That's correct. So I have a formula where I'm like saying, okay, so if I've started guesstimating I'm going to need 115,000 words, then it's going to subtract this total word count so far and tell me how many words I have left to write in this book. And then also it is going to tell me over here how many word sprints I have left to complete before the book is finished, which is 177. And I think that will actually be, Jasmine said, feeling overwhelmed. I feel like that will actually be kind of fun for me to fill out, because then I would be able to track how many word sprints I've done, and I would be able to see it on a calendar. I would be able to see it on my word count tracker here. So I'm going to try to do that. The other thing that I can do is this little thing where I've said I've written 2,000 words for the day. I can open that as a page and I can have this little intention for the day. So if I wanted to, I could sit down on November 1st for Nano and I could say, I hope that I can do 3 sprints today. And I'm going to try to do them at lunch. So that's kind of like my intention for the day. And then over here on my scenes list, I could write, I'm writing Harper's, blah, 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 whatever. And then over here, I'm going to write Jackson's something, something else over here. And then I could write down like what scenes I think I'm going to write today. And then at the end of the day, I could come in here and say how it went and what I'm thinking about that I might do for tomorrow. And then at the same time, just fill out this little title with these 4 little dots so that I knew how many words I wrote for the day. I could keep track of that over here. So I know that's like just a really brief overview of what the writing journal could do for you. And there are like Allie just said, I love Notion, but I tend to use templates because formulas are too much for me. Even in Excel, I get overwhelmed with the formula. So I built this all myself. The tarot thing was a template, like I told you, that somebody else did, but the writing journal is all me. I just 100% created this for myself. And I would love to actually expand on this to not be just a writing journal, but to also be a journal of the things that I'm watching, like what movies I watched, whether they inspired me and so on, what ideas I have. So you can see down here is just that same word count tracker. And then here's another link to the book 12 sprint tracker. But I also have this section that I call plot bunnies. And this is things like, you guys have heard me talk about my Summer of Ghost stories many times, that I want to write those books. So here would be a place where I could keep track of all my pages or anything that I've done about those particular characters. Then this is another template that somebody gave to me, which is Gwen Hayes's Romancing the Story beats. And so they're arranged according to the meet cute, act 1 climax and so forth. And I want to do something like this for my Plot Your Novel stuff. But basically when you click on this, it'll say intro H1. So this is the, character hero number 1. And then it gives you a little bit about what would happen in that scene. And I want to do something similar for my way of plotting. So I think this is kind of a cool thing, and it looks nice and it makes me feel inspired. And the cool thing about it too is that it's not in like so many different notebooks that I can't find them or I can't keep track of things. Jenica says, what about your tarot witches? What is this? So tarot witches, that one I've talked about a little bit before. The Witches of the Arcana is right here. This is obviously just an image. I don't have anything in here yet, but Witches of the Arcana is definitely a series that I'm considering as being my next big series, like 10 plus books. I basically have imagined it to be at least a 9-book long series that'll be told kind of in 3 trilogy sets. So that might be one that I write. I'm not sure exactly what I will do with it, but I think it would be cool to have all of this inside Notion. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that kind of sneak peek and enjoyed looking at the different things that I have for Disney and all those other things. I also, just to go ahead and mention for you guys, tomorrow, well, this is my Xbox controller. Tomorrow, we're doing something a little bit different. So next weekend, we will do a watch party teleparty. So I will give you guys instructions on how to join with that, but that's just like a Chrome extension that you install onto your browser, and then we all get to watch Netflix together. And I think we're going to watch that movie, There's Someone Inside Your House, but I'm not sure. I will post several options and we'll see. And I know that not everybody will be able to participate because not everybody has Netflix, but I will be giving away a Netflix subscription to that day. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be a 3-month Netflix subscription. But tomorrow night, we're going to do something that I've never done before, really, which is my first attempt at live streaming myself playing a video game. I think I did some EverQuest, like live streaming a little bit inside Discord. But if you want to come join us, Discord has a functionality where I can live stream my screen, and I'm going to play the game Until Dawn. It's definitely survival horror. It's very gory. It is not for the faint of heart. And it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So I know those of you overseas, it's going to be like middle of the night for you. But for those of you that would like to join me, I have a controller here that I have purchased. I have Xbox, PS4, and a Nintendo controller. And these two, Xbox and PS4, I can actually play on my desktop. You don't have to have a actual PS4, which I did not realize until we got on the road. And I was like, I miss my consoles. And then I realized that I could actually play as long as I have the controller with PlayStation Now. So I'm going to stream me playing Until Dawn, and it is really, really fun. It is a survival horror game. It's pretty scary, Patty. It gets scarier as you go. So it would take me like 12 or 14 hours to play the whole thing. So we're probably only going to get a couple hours into it, but it's kind of like playing like a movie. So some of it is you play it, and some of it is you just watch it. You watch the characters interact. And then sometimes it'll be like in the middle of an action, it'll pause and it'll be like, which way do you want to go? Do you want to go this way or that way? So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. And it's really fun. And there are some really good voice actors, and it's kind of like CG of people that like Hayden Panettiere and Rami Malek and some other people that you would recognize. So it is similar to like scare factor of Resident Evil. Is it scarier than The Last of Us? Yes, I would say it's more gory and scarier than some parts of The Last of Us. Although, yeah, if you definitely found The Last of Us scary, this will be scarier because it's like darker and more atmospheric, I think, in some ways. And there's more like jump scare kind of things, I guess. What's the name of the game? So the name is called Until Dawn, and it's going to be super fun. So if you want to come join us, the link to join my Discord server is in the description box of this video or up above on the description of the of the Facebook. So getting back into Animal Crossing, can't wait for the new updates. This is definitely scarier than Animal Crossings, but it's really fun. And you can come in, you can listen if you want. There's a watch party chat channel as well if you want to chat. You'll be able to actually hear me and my talking. So I'm going to have my headphones on and I'll be streaming it, but I'll be talking to you guys at the same time. And if you want to join in the voice chat, you can. If there get to be like a lot of people in the voice chat, we'll just do the chat channel where you just speak. Yes, it's like a slasher movie. It's kind of like you're playing a horror movie, and you just get to make some of the choices along the way. So it's a lot like some games like The Last of Us, you're mostly playing with a few like cutscenes. This one is like mostly cutscene type things. And then you're making choices and you have to kind of run and do other things. But it's really fun, but it should be some good time for us to kind of sit and chat if you want to come join us. But the Spooktacular schedule is there on the blog. Don't forget to go to the day one post and enter to win 15 signed paperbacks from me. I will choose that winner on October 31st, but there's so much more stuff to come. If you really want to get the most out of the Spooktacular, we're on day 4 of 13 right now. Definitely come join the Facebook group because that's where like the extra little memes and funny little things are going on. But there's also a scavenger hunt going on. I'm giving away over $1,000 worth of stuff during this Spooktacular, just because I feel like I would not have this life and I would not be here getting to do the things that I love to do if it wasn't for each and every one of you that continue to support me, including my books, but also the YouTube channel, the swag, the Sir Bean stuff, like everything that you guys do. One of the giveaways that's going to be there for authors in our community too is I am giving away a couple. I think it's going to be a couple of sessions, or I might do a group session. I haven't fully decided of kind of like run your ideas by me or let's talk strategy for your writing career. And that is going to be a really cool Zoom call giveaway. So there's lots of fun stuff coming up. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. And that's basically it. What does your choker necklace say? It says Mama, M-A-M-A, just up here. It's close to my heart, but not really. The circle is closer to my heart. It's close to my throat because I'm always telling them what to do. But I really, truly hope that you all know how much I appreciate it, that you're here in this community. And I know that there are a lot of authors out there who write books really, really fast, and I am not one of them. And in fact, I am somebody who has been writing slow for the past few years and writing in multiple different series. And the fact that so many thousands of people have stuck with me throughout that whole like experience, because I know so many people want the books faster, it just means the world to me. And it truly, truly means everything. So I appreciate you all. If you get a chance, go ahead and let other people know. Yes, Slow Writers Unite. Let other people know about this channel and about the readings. You can share with them The Witch's Key, or you can share with them Beautiful Demons if they're new to my books. But I would love to get to 7,000 subscribers before we get to the end of this Spooktacular. So we are less than 30 people away. So if you want to, go share it with your friends and let them know to come join and be a part of our fun community here. Thank you all so much for being here, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. And I will see you guys for more Spooktacular fun in the Coven, or here on YouTube tomorrow over in Discord tomorrow with a run through. No, wait. Yes, tomorrow. I'm like, wait, I'm missing which day. Yes, Discord tomorrow. So, all right, I will see you guys over there. Bye for now. Thanks for being here.